Hi, and welcome back to the Soda Pop Podcast. My name is Kiya Williams. I am your host for today's episode, and I'm joined by some very special guests. To start off with, we're going to just interview Dr. A. So he is the director of the opera that we're currently having, and that's what today's episode is about. So let's get to know him a little more. Can you say hi for me, Dr. A?
Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to meet you. I've been trying to get in contact with this man for about 3 weeks, and he finally got back to me, and I was so excited. So that was so great. So one thing about Dr. A, he directs both opera and musical theater here at UNA, and I feel that's very important to start off with. Because my question is, why are you here at UNA? And how long have you been here?
Yeah, this is my second year at UNA. And why am I here? I ask myself that question. No, I'm just kidding. I'm here because I think UNA offers a really great student experience, and I wanted to be a part of that. I've taught at a number of different institutions, and I have a strong commitment to providing a really high quality education at an affordable price, which I think UNA definitely provides. So the combination of the experience and the fact that our students won't be in crippling debt by the time that they graduate, I think is a real big plus, especially in this type of economy and in this type of work that we do.
Yes, that's a very good reason. And then a question I have is, how did you get introduced to opera? Because to me, you don't just meet people who do opera all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, it was sort of by mistake. I started off singing in choirs as a kid, but I was really interested in being a drummer. I have two older brothers, and they were really into lots of different types of music. And so I listened to Kiss when I was a kid and saw my first video with Peter Criss, blowing stuff up on stage. And I thought that's what drumming was all about. How do I blow stuff up? I got to play drums. So I made a deal with my mom that after 2 years of piano lessons, they would buy me a drum set. And about 7 years later, I was still asking for that drum set, and I ended up getting into singing and a few other things along the way. And luckily, my voice, before it had even changed, when I was a very little boy, and I had a voice that was way up here, I ended up getting a solo with the Rochester Oratorio Society, which is a pretty big organization in Rochester, New York, where the Eastman School of Music is, and I ended up taking lessons there throughout my high school.
We love that. Okay, and then my question is, why do you teach opera as well?
Well, I think there's so many interesting stories that have been created throughout history, and we all come to it with our own stories, and I think the infusion of our own lived experience with the stories from days gone by, as well as things that are being written just right now, I think it's a vital part of the human experience. It's a very rare thing when we can go into a space and sort of shut out the rest of the world and experience what it is to be uniquely human, to see these human stories being played out, and hopefully being played out in a very relevant way, a way that makes sense to us in our modern context, and just provides us with that experience to be able to think and feel and be together and share that experience.
100%. And the very last question I have for you before we talk about the opera is, what is your soft drink and soft jam? What have you been drinking on, and what's you been jamming on repeat?
So for beverages, I'm a huge fan of cream soda.
You're a cream soda person?
I am. And I'm looking up at the wall. I can even do cherries and cream. But straight up cream is good.
A lot of if you guys don't know, we recently just filmed our April Fool's episode, and you guys should have just saw that if you're listening to this episode. But a lot of these were not cream-based soda at all.
Dirt soda.
That one actually tasted like vanilla. It tasted like vanilla. I do not recommend drinking them all in one go. Is the only thing I have to say. But the strawberries cream and cherries and cream are actually really good. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. And my playlist is a little bit old school. I go all the way back to Jurassic 5 with Charlie Tuna, and a little bit of MF Doom, and a little bit of Odd Future. So nothing operatic at all.
Yeah. Oh,
Because I listen to that stuff all day long. I need to listen to something else.
I understand. I understand. Okay, so my next question: what is this year's opera? Because I don't know what it is. I keep looking for it everywhere. It just says opera. And is it
Mhm.
like a collection of pieces? Is it an opera? Like, what's happening?
This semester, we're doing a musical review, Rodgers and Hammerstein, and it is called A Grand Night for Singing. And it's comprised of a number of favorite songs from musicals like Oklahoma, South Pacific, uh, Carousel, and The Sound of Music, among others. And some of those are being sung by a similar voice type to the person who sings it in the original show, and some of them are completely mashed up and being sung by a different gendered character and that sort of thing. So it's a doesn't really have a storyline. It's just kind of like a mashup of a bunch of their tunes with the actors relating to each other and whatever the given context of every piece
Okay.
is.
Follow-up question: why?
Well, two things. One is we have a plan currently where we are alternating every other year. 1 year as an opera, 1 year as a musical theater. Those happen in our spring semesters. And in our fall semesters, we do sort of like a themed cabaret performance that has a mixture of all vocal music genres, not just opera and musical theater. We had some popular music inserted in there last year, as well as some art songs. So we're on the rotation. So that's for musical theater. So that's why we're doing musical theater in particular. But this show, I wanted to get our singing actors up and moving. So this show has a good bit of choreography in it. And our actors some of them have done a lot of choreography and some of them have not done a lot of choreography. So I think it's a really important learning experience for all of them. And I've witnessed with a bunch of the students really incredible growth, and also with regards to their development as a singer, now that they're getting accustomed to using their whole body on stage through dance, their approach to singing is actually even changing and evolving and getting stronger.
We love that. We love that. We love change and growth. Another question I have for you is, what do you look for when people audition for like musical theater and opera? Because they're very two different things and they come with two different skill sets. So like, how do you know this would be good for this and this would be good for the other?
Yeah, I think traditionally people have thought of them as being very different. I don't think of them as being all that different anymore. Both of those genres have changed quite a bit. It used to be in opera that singing was the most important thing, and a particular way of singing was the most important thing, and that the acting took sort of like a back seat to it. And maybe in musical theater, a little bit of the opposite, that maybe the acting was the most important part of it, and the singing was maybe it was expected to be good, but not necessarily like the most important part of the production. And I think both of them have sort of evolved to be a lot more alike than they are dissimilar. So with that in mind, I'm just looking to see, first of all, when I hear the voice, is it a voice that can make all the sounds that are gonna be asked of them for whatever the particular part is? When I watch the person perform, I want to see a little bit about how they move, a little bit how they tell the story, not just with their voice, but with their face and their body. But we are all here to learn. So I don't think I'm not looking for any sort of finished product when it comes in. I think the most important thing is I'm looking for somebody who's flexible, adaptable, and is able to take instruction really well, and probably even more important than that, works well with others. Because when we do a show, we rehearse pretty intensely for a number of months, and it's kind of like a little family. And the last thing you want is somebody to come into that family and cause a lot of disruption
Yes.
in the family. You know, we all fight with our families plenty enough as it is. We don't need to choose that. So we're looking for people who are going to be a good, productive, and supportive part of that family, because what we're doing in the end is hopefully showing our soul as we perform, and that requires a lot of safety on the part of your coworkers. If you're pouring your heart out, you want to make sure that that it's going to be in a safe place among people who respect and honor and value that same thing. So
100%. Like that's to me, every time I ask a director that, they always say someone who works well with others. And if you don't, like, you're going to have a hard time doing anything within this career field, because all of this is collaboration.
And everybody knows everybody.
Exactly. Like, word of mouth travels fast. Like, your reputation will precede you, and people really just don't understand like how important that is. So I 100% agree. And then another question I have for you before we bring in all the students is, because you say it's similar. And I actually find that very funny that you say that it's similar casting. How do you find directing theater and opera? Like, how close and similar are they? Because to me, every time I see it, it seems very differently.
Yeah. So I think probably the main thing that is dissimilar. I mean, first of all, let's start with the similarities. We all use text, right? So words, and those words tell us a lot about who the character is, what they want, what their objectives are, and what stands in their way of achieving those goals, as well as with the rest of the characters that they're on stage, how those characters play a part in either standing in the way or helping that person get what they want. So all of those things are very, very similar. We spend, I said in our fall semesters, we do a performance, but the performance is a culmination of like a acting, stagecraft, character analysis and scene analysis program. So we spend time working with that, looking at the characters, figuring out who they are, what their perspective on a certain thing is, and how we can relate to it as contemporary human beings or people who were not born into that life, how we can live most truthfully through the imaginary circumstances of the play that we're in. So in terms of all that, it's very, very similar. But in terms of when we add the music, there's an added component that requires you to not just listen to the melodies and harmonies that are being sung by the characters, but you really have to listen to the orchestra, because the orchestra plays an integral part in telling the story as well. Sometimes you'll hear sounds that foreshadow an event that's about to happen, or sounds that are meant to represent a certain character or a certain idea, and they present themselves throughout the show as a way of sort of signaling that something is happening or is about to happen. So the musical element causes you to have to listen really closely to the score and maybe pay a little bit more attention to the timing of everything with regards to how it works with the score.
Perfect. The score. We love the score. So now you know a little bit more about Dr. A. You know a little bit more about the production that's coming. It's going to be April 21st and 22nd, correct?
Yes.
So now that you know that, let's meet the students who are going to be performing in it, shall we? Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Can we go through and do a name introduction for everybody?
Absolutely. I'm Andrea Maston, and I'm a junior here, and I am performing as Vicky in one of our casts in the show.
Hi, I'm Natalie Thrasher. I'm also a junior, and I'm playing the character of Allison in one of our casts in the show.
Hi, my name is Taylor Romanzik, and I am a super senior. I'm a music education major. So many. And I'm playing the role of Lynn, and our cast date is going to be April 21st. So yeah.
Oh, there's two casts?
Yes. There's more than 2 casts.
How many casts are there?
We have 2 full casts and then a third half cast of understudies. We want to give as many people opportunities to not just learn the roles, but some to be able to perform them and have backups whenever necessary.
We love that. We
Mhm.
love having 2 casts. Okay, so you guys are going to be there the 21st. So if you want to come see these guys, come out April 21st. That's important. Show them support and show them love. Okay, my question is, before we get deep into your questions, is why are you at UNA? Because all of you are juniors and seniors, so y'all had a chance to leave, but you're still here.
Actually, so when I was a junior in high school, the choirs actually came to my high school, and the vocal jazz ensemble did like some cool songs, and then there were some where it was like so corny, but I know, but I love them so much.
He knows. He knows.
But it was just so great seeing them interact with each other. And it wasn't a choir where you were depending on a director to direct you. You were kind of depending on everyone in your ensemble to kind of make those choices with you while you're singing. And I was like, I have to go here. So I asked a lot of questions when they came to James Clemens High School. And then about 2 years later, I was here. So.
Look at that.
Okay, so I came here because originally I didn't want to go to college at all. Graduated in 2020, great time to be,
We love COVID.
yeah. Just trying to get through that year was fun. So basically I was just not really wanting to do any of it. But then one of my friends, he was like, hey, I've heard UNA has a great music program, because he knew I always sung in choir and did theater. And so I looked it up, and I ended up thinking, this might not be so bad. At least I could just, get a degree and then be done. And I've stayed, though, because all of my really cool friends that I've made and all the professors are amazing. And yeah, I think it's like, it just helps you find what you want to do.
I came to UNA because I was specifically looking for a place that had a music program that was definitely open to exploring more unconventional ways in, being here, not just doing your standard shows, but doing it in a different way, something that was going to stand out. And also here on campus, I was looking for something that was big enough for me to grow, but small enough for me to be able to establish a family with.
So you didn't feel like a number, basically.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I remember in the spring, I saw a production of The Turn of the Screw that our opera and musical theater people did here. And after seeing that, I was sold. I was like, oh, I've got to be here. And they haven't let me down since. So
We love that. We love that. My next question is, since all of y'all are sophomores and juniors, how many productions have you done here at UNA or events?
So do you want to put choir events in there, or?
Like I said, I know you a lot of choir people in here.
1 million.
So how many have you done so far, if you could count?
So each semester, the choirs do 2 big events in the fall and 3 big events in the spring. That doesn't include some of our outside work with the churches here or other organizations that work with UNA. So how many do you guys?
I have absolutely no
Too many to
idea.
count. Got it.
far too many.
You get a lot of experience here. Like, you're not going to have no experience performing. You will get a chance to perform roles or sing in parts that you just like, choirs that you love. So, yeah.
About a week or so ago, with the choirs and vocal jazz, we had a vocal jazz tour, and then we had like 3 or 4 concerts in 1 week. So we
Bless
do a
your
lot.
vocal cords.
We will take those prayers.
My last question I have before you talk about the opera is, what is your soft drinks and soft jam? What you been drinking? What you been jamming?
Okay, I'll go first. My favorite soft drink, I love the cotton candy Faygo. I live for it. Anytime I find it, I get really
People
excited.
disrespect Faygo too much. It's good.
It's wonderful.
I love corn syrup.
Yes, I do. And then my soft jam, I've been listening to an Irish band called Hudson Taylor, and my favorite song by them is What Do You Mean?
People disrespect Irish music. It's so good.
It's spectacular.
And Scottish music. Oh my God. Like, in like the original tongue, That stuff goes so hard. Okay.
Okay, so I have like a really not good answer for the soft drink, but that is I like don't drink soft drinks, but I always am drinking water. But to make up for it, I have 2 soft jams.
Okay.
Okay, so we have variety here.
You love variety.
This is Home by Cavetown and Good Directions by Billy Currington. It's very 2 different sides of my personality, but they're both great.
That is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine.
Okay, so unfortunately, I have not been blessed with the ability to drink soda because I'm allergic.
How?
So-
Wait, okay, now we have to know. This is the very first time I've heard this. We have to unpack this now.
Okay, well, hi. I am allergic to corn syrup and maltodextrin, so like I can't have those. But what always comes through is vitamin water. So the acai or the essential one, that one's really good. And I know it's very funny.
It's not even funny. I just feel sad because like I can't drink caffeine. Like I hate I am not a caffeine person. If I drink caffeine, I cannot function properly. So like in the morning, I drink a Sprite because the carbonation wakes me up.
Yeah.
Like that's my coffee, and like I just feel so bad.
It's okay. I'm really living up my life. It's okay.
I know. I just feel bad. That's probably the most American thing I could possibly say at this moment is feeling bad that you can't drink soda. You know, just straight sugar water. I'm sorry.
It's okay. But so I have 3 people that I have been jamming to
That's perfectly
every
fine.
day, and they're all indie vibes.
We love indie vibes.
Grant Perez is the first one, and the songs are Clementine and My Heart Beats for You, Monsoon, Out of My Mind, or Watch House, Old Ties and Companions. Those are pretty good.
We love that. We love that so much. We love indie vibes. I love a good indie pop movement moment. Okay, my music tastes wilds differently. If you guys who are listening to the podcast want to listen to the chaos that this is, because if you don't know, this is all 4 playlists. We have about, I want to say 3 or 4 albums now. Those albums include Taylor Swift, Big Time Rush, Billy Joel, and one I put on there, Ricky Montgomery. They are complete chaos. If you don't know what to put on, you can go to Spotify, type in University of North Alabama or UNA SOTA, and click on the Soft Drink Soft Jams playlist, and you can jam out to all of these wonderful songs and artists people have found and listened to. There's a podcast on there. You never know what you're going to get. Hit shuffle and find out. So yes, go do that. Have fun. Now, before we get into your questions, if you guys don't know, I'm the world's designated hater. I love to hate. I love it. It's so great. Sometimes you just need to get that off your chest. And that's what I want you guys to do today. I need your biggest hot takes. I need you to pop off right now. What is your biggest musical theater and opera hot takes right now?
I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I am not a fan of jukebox musicals.
I respect that.
I want to
respect
hear
that.
the original bands playing their stuff.
I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I 100%. No, that is a very good thing. Because my thing is, a lot of times, what the jukebox musical should be and what it is are 2 different things.
Yes.
And it sounds awful half the time. I'm not going to lie. However, there's a trend on TikTok where everybody's making their own jukebox musical in real life, and it's hilarious. I'm not going to lie because it's so bad. That is a good one.
Okay, my friends have told me that I need to just basically atone for my sins on this podcast and admit to the world that I'm a Phantom apologist in Phantom of the Opera. I think he can do no wrong.
Oh, God.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've been told that that's a problem for
It
me
is.
He
personally.
gave you his music.
I just think he's so great. And I'm definitely Team Phantom and not Team Raoul. Raoul can go away, but Christine is better than both of them, so that's okay.
I mean, that is correct, but there are a lot of sins that need to be atoned for in this moment. I'm just going to say that.
Well, okay, so having been through all of that and having sung in that before, I would say Phantom has gone through time periods. There was a time in the early mid 90s where you could not do anything from Phantom anymore. It was just, it had been done so much. And then the movie came back years later, and then it started, and then you couldn't do it again after that. And I think it's about time where we can do Phantom, and it's fine.
It's not a problem of doing Phantom. It's the fact that you think Phantom is soft boy.
But he is.
But he's not.
He's down there in his little cave all
He's
alone.
a criminal.
He's probably not a good person.
He needs to see a therapist.
He does, but
Maybe you do too.
don't we all?
We all need to see a therapist. I do, but this will be in my therapy session now.
I do have one more hot take that I just thought of.
100% go for it.
So I think Les Mis is very overrated.
It is. Oh my God, it's so overrated. I don't even think that's a hot take anymore. I just think that's a
Okay.
collective that we need to start pushing into the public.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, okay. So I have been going to a lot of shows recently, and my pet peeve is when they put too many people on stage. Like, there's not enough room for that person to do their move, and you can just see the people just like kind of T-Rex in their arms, you know?
I hate T-Rex arms so much. Oh my God.
Or so stuff like that. Like, sometimes it's good to keep it simple. So, yeah.
Less is more, people. Less is more.
Okay, mine is probably going to be a little bit less popular, but I just got into Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812, and my hot take: Natasha is like very, very mad problematic. Honestly, like, this might be a spoiler for anybody who doesn't know about it, but she went through 3 guys on that show, 3. So I'm just like, ooh, like, she couldn't figure it out. She was young, but she was going through it. I think we just need to take some time to be by ourselves for a minute.
I appreciate that. I do have a hot take today. It's not specifically opera, but it is theater related. My hot take is, it's not a hot take if you don't like Shakespeare. A lot of people don't like Shakespeare. 90% of the population does not like Shakespeare. I don't care if you don't like it. You're not hot, you're not hip, you're not cool. You just join the rest of the people on the planet Earth. Okay? I don't care that you don't like him. I don't like him either. That's not the hot take. No one cares. Oh my God. You're like every other person in English class who did not grow up with their parents forcing them to watch Romeo and Juliet at a young age. It's not important.
Okay,
Nobody
which
cares.
version? Which
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the
Leonardo
same.
DiCaprio?
No. My problem is, because I will perform, like, say I go and perform Romeo and Juliet. The little snobs will come up to me and go, "It was art thou, not thou art." I am dyslexic. It was the one word I messed up. No one cares if you like him. No one cares if you dislike him. Join the rest of the people who had to read it for Shakespeare, for English, and then moved on with their life. No one cares that much. I promise. Go to London, go to the theater and enjoy it and have a nice day, and then leave me alone and don't talk to me about it ever again. Thank you so much. Love everyone who's ever taken an English class in the United States.
Should we tell her that our cabaret show last semester was Shakespeare themed?
I know. I had a feeling. It's in my mouth. I had a feeling. It's fine. I just had to let the world know that really fast. Take that as how you feel.
Well, you know, as performers, sometimes we play characters that, like, if we knew
hate
them in real life, we wouldn't like them.
100%.
That is so true.
But that's not our job.
Natasha.
Our job on
To
stage
perform.
is not to like them or dislike them. You know.
Our job is just to be them.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
it. Love it, hate it. It is what it is. So let's talk more about the opera cabaret, all of it, the showcase. I don't know what to call it properly. Was there certain?
Yeah, I mean, it was called Brush Up Your Shakespeare last semester, and then we did the year before that we did what was it?
Ciao Firenze.
Ciao Firenze, because Florence, you know, and
Yeah.
because I was new to here, so I was like saying hello to Florence,
So
and it was all things like Florence or Italy related.
appropriately. So my question is, how is auditioning for this show different for other things you guys have auditioned for?
For the one we're doing this semester, basically, Dr. A originally asked us to pick repertoire like from the Golden Age musical theater. So stylistically, it was specific to what we're doing, and that's not always the case. And yeah, I think he just watched how we performed as we auditioned.
This is my first time doing a musical here at UNA. So audition-wise, I definitely felt more open to literally moving my body, but also not necessarily completely staying true to everything that's like written on the page. Of course, you want to start with that as your foundation, but then eventually there's a place of artistry where you kind of get to really express that character that you're trying to portray through your song. So you get to show that off a little bit.
I also think that the audition process is a little bit easier than what it used to be. Because sometimes our auditions would be tagged along with our juries. And I don't know if you've heard about juries, but it's essentially a culmination of all the work.
Everybody hates juries.
I've never heard of this before. I'm a theater
So,
person, but I don't do musical theater because I'm not confident
A
enough.
jury is a juried final examination. So you do a final performance before a panel of teachers who then like score, write comments, make suggestions, that sort of thing. And it is probably the cause of the most stress and consternation amongst all music students from probably going back to the dark ages. And I really wish we could change the name. Like the word jury just does not sound good. We should just call it like end of the semester performance.
It's a performance review mainly.
Yeah.
Performance review. Yeah. Something like that. That would, encourage people not to be so concerned about doing things correctly, but to rather like demonstrate how they have grown and developed as a singing artist.
Mm-hmm. So these auditions weren't tagged along to those big stress balls at the end of a semester. They were actually done separately so that you could take whatever you have from your jury and leave it where it is, and then come into a different audition and kind of like have time to reset yourself and know like, okay, this is what I'm doing for this, and then, we'll just see how it goes.
That is respectfully better. You guys should do that all the time now.
Mhm.
I don't know why that was not that before. I hate that,
Well,
and I didn't even do it.
Sometimes it's for convenience because juries are like one of the only times when we can be sure that we're going to have all of the voice people there. But also we're really trying our best to be inclusive of the entire campus community. So we had one person who started off in the show, but his schedule in theater was like a little bit too hectic for him. And he actually just called me the other day to ask me about doing next semester and the semester after that. We don't want this just to be only music and theater students. This belongs to all of UNA, and anybody should be able to come in and audition and hopefully be a part of this.
Yes,
I would
100%.
love it. Absolutely.
Come and join us. Come become one of us. It's fun, I promise. My question for you guys, you always feel free to join in, is what has been your favorite point of rehearsal or part of the show so far?
Choreography. I love it. I really, really.
You're a little dancer. We have a movement class together, and every time
Yeah,
Natalie's a little dancer.
Yeah, anytime we can move, I love to put movements with singing, and putting it all together in this musical review is really, really spectacular. And doing it with this whole cast, both cast and understudy cast, is really, really fun.
Okay, my favorite thing is seeing how other people play like my role, or how I've seen like my cast members do their thing and then watch the other casts do it, because everyone has a little different interpretation of what they want to show. And I think it brings like little nuggets of joy to the show, or how people want to do that. So I really enjoyed that.
My favorite part here is that I get to be happy. I should rephrase that. The character that I portray gets to be happy. More often than not, I'm usually playing somebody who is either like incredibly lovesick, is either like about to die,
Over
or
the top dramatic.
which
Or
I
both.
feel it. I feel those things and I love it. But here I get to smile and like mean it. It's so exciting. I love it every single time. It's like, oh, this is not a sad song. I'm amazed.
I love that. I have a quick question. So do you guys audition together, like not audition, rehearse together for like the two casts, or you do the two casts separately, or?
Yeah, we all rehearse at the same time. We have a regular class meeting time, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 3:30 to 5. And sometimes when we're first learning a scene, we'll have everybody sort of like in rows, so like mirroring each other, and then swap who's in the front, so that way they get all the blocking or all the choreography. And then we have them split apart and do one cast at a time. And like, for example, later this afternoon, we're doing 2 runs of our first act. We did the second act on Tuesday and Thursday. So both the gold cast and the purple cast will get a run of the first act today, while the covers will be sort of mirroring on the side, and one cast will be sitting up in front, kind of helping the other cast along if they're missing words or not in the right place at the right time, pointing directions and things like that. So it's very collaborative. I want them to get used to this, because a lot of our students are actually music education majors, and a lot of them will be doing some of this themselves. So to get them used to, like, what is it like to have to ask somebody on stage to move from point A to point B? How can you communicate that in a real direct way and in a real, hopefully kind and productive way? So
what has been your favorite part of rehearsals?
I just like watching them. I mean, when they're having fun, there's just an energy and an enthusiasm that becomes very contagious. So, we all work long days. We all put in lots of hours doing tons of different things. And it's easy to show up at the beginning of rehearsal and be like, oh, I'm really tired. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And then magically at the end of rehearsal, everybody comes out more energized than they were going into it. And that, to me, that's sort of the selfish side of it. That's what we all get out of this, creating these things together. But even more so, it's going to be really fantastic when we share it with other people and they get to see that too. But I love watching that. It's really hard for me to pay attention to what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm watching them and just laughing.
We love that. One of my last questions I have for you guys today is, as professional yellers, are there any tips and tricks for like vocal strain and fry? I should know this because I do theater, but I don't have any. So please help me.
Don't overwork yourself and just breathe.
Breathing is good. I hear if you stop breathing for a prolonged period of time, it's not positive.
Bad things happen.
It's rather important to singing.
This is tough for the coffee drinkers out there, but make sure, like, water. Coffee will dry you out. If you drink alcohol, that'll dry you out. Just lots of water. Take care of yourself in general.
So a lot of my teachers have given me some very useful tricks, and some of them are very hard to explain when you're not standing in front of someone. But there is a weird one that I heard from Dr. Went in vocal pedagogy, where how people have a tendency to clear their throat, and it's very like, okay, we don't want to do that. And I know it sounds very weird, but with your vocal folds, they kind of come together, and you can actually lightly tap them together by making like a sound. So, but hear me out. So if you
do you know what the name of that is?
I do not.
Coupe de glotte. Yes.
I remember this.
French.
So if your throat's hurting, sometimes if you just go, and so you can get some things out. Whenever I've lost my voice or things are going rough, my saver for me is mint tea and honey. And I do that all the time. And then I do the coupe de glotte.
I've learned so many things today.
Also, go ahead. Also, you can feel when you speak, or if you do that exercise, you can feel where your vocal folds are, because you can feel the vibrations.
So like if you put your hand on
everybody do this with us.
Okay, so if you put your hand on your throat and say if you start right here under like where your tongue is beneath your jaw, and then slide it down like it's a little candy cane, and end right here where you'll feel like a little notch where the Adam's apple is.
You can especially feel it if you swallow.
And yes, women still do have Adam's apples. They just don't show. But like if you swallow.
I did. I felt it.
Yeah, and you feel it. So that's where it originates.
Oh my God.
It's kind of cool.
Oh my God. I'm so excited about this. This is so, oh my Lord.
And don't sleep on the power of a warm down. We all know about warming up our voices, but warming them down afterwards is just as essential, especially if you're
never
doing
do
like
that.
some intense stuff. So instead of like, warming, like going very higher in your voice whenever you're trying to warm up all parts of your range, you also want to bring it back down to your normal like speaking pitch.
I love this. I have so many more tips now. I feel like a professional. Do you have any tips for me?
The turkey one is really good.
Turkey one.
You know what I'm talking about?
So the other thing that I do here at the school is teach voice lessons. And, I have sort of a protocol that I follow. So there's kind of like a step 1, a step 2, and the protocol kind of helps me do a little assessment daily to see where the students are at, but also helps build certain coordinations. And I think that's probably the most important thing, is that everything has to be habituated. You have to spend, I used to get really upset at this. I've told the students this story many times. My ex-wife is from France, and she used to say, "Eric, it is so easy for you." And I used to get so mad about that. I'd be like, you know how much I practice. This is not easy. And then I thought about it, and I was like, actually, that's the best compliment ever, because if I did my work and I habituated everything and I practiced to the point where it looks easy, well, first of all, nobody knows how much I'm sweating and struggling while I'm actually doing it. But I accomplished what I set out to do by making something that is pretty, we're spinning 10 plates at once, and it's pretty complicated and complex. And yet, if I can make it look easy, then I did the right thing. So, I don't think there's any. There are like little hacks and quick tips and stuff like that, but really it's a long process to being able to do this sustainably well.
I love that. We learned so many things today. At least I did, and that's all that matters if I learned something. Not that you guys shouldn't learn anything as well. So now you know where your vocal little claps are. That's probably the wrong word, but I'm going to call them little vocal claps.
I like that more.
We're using that now.
Yeah.
Little vocal claps.
I'm sorry, it has now been renamed.
I'm sorry, science. I don't make the rules. I just kind of, actually I do. Let's have a little fizzle down, feel good. As the way you should warm down, you should fizzle down at the end of this episode. What's one good thing that's happened to you this week? Mine currently is at the fact that Dave is wearing a boa. Oh my God, I've made it through this whole episode and I never told y'all what my soft drink and soft jam is. I have really bad ADHD. I'm sorry. Why we're here, I'll do that. My soft drink, honestly, I don't know. I haven't been drinking anything consistently. After the April Fool's episode, I refused to drink soda. So I haven't been drinking that. Actually, I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade because I've been dehydrated. I need to drink more water, but that tastes yucky. So I've been drinking Gatorade. What else? I've been listening to, this morning I woke up and Moving Out by Billy Joel was stuck in my head, and I was listening to that on repeat until Kat walked in the office. So that's my soft drink and soft jam. And my one good thing is that Dave's currently wearing a boa and he looks wonderful in it. Okay. What is one good thing that's happened to you guys this week?
When I woke up this morning, I stayed at Natalie's place last night, and she made cinnamon rolls.
Oh yeah,
that was just like the perfect start.
We
they
love
were
cinnamon
amazing.
I'm also gonna tag along with that because I was also in Natalie's.
Oh, we just had a sleepover, just a giant sleepover. We love it.
And
Cast bonding.
Yeah, for real. There you go. And the cinnamon rolls were so good that I was so ready for choir. So.
Okay, so that was kind of gonna be mine as well.
That's fine. Everyone just had cinnamon roll. I feel so left out. I want a cinnamon roll now. God.
They were really good, and I still have 2 in my fridge. So like, I might go have those later.
100% respect that.
I've had a few weeks off from my jiu-jitsu class, and so I finally went back this week, and I did not get choked out.
Woo!
So that's a positive. Yes.
Claps. We love it. We love it.
Also, we do have an Instagram and Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
It's UNA Voice, Opera, and Musical Theater. I know it's a lot to type in, but as soon as you type in that first word, you'll find it. And our Leah Pickering, she runs that. She does a great job with it. So you'll see some updates for about more information about all of our casts.
Yeah, we
and
have
some stuff
have
going on.
pictures, bios, and action shots from our rehearsals.
Behind the scenes shenanigans.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
love that. I have any other social medias that you guys want to plug? Any projects that you guys are working on?
I have a recital that's coming up after spring break.
Ooh.
I think everyone should be there. It's April 4th at 5:30 in the recital hall.
I hate to break this. This is going to come out after that.
Oh, well, then you should have been there. I'm sorry.
You should
about
have.
that. It's too late.
Keep looking at the UNA music page because they also post some things about like all of our students that you can get in contact with, like Natalie's lovely recital coming up. And yeah.
Okay. If you are listening to this, you may or may not be a SOTA student, or you might just go to the University of North Alabama. And if so, SOTA stands for the School of the Arts, if you couldn't have told already. We're having a skate night. It's free for students. It is absolutely positively free, 100% free. If you go to the University of North Alabama, all you gotta do is show up with your main card and you get in. It's gonna be April 26th. Look out for our social medias for that. You might want to be there. Dave's gonna be there, and who doesn't want to see Dave in some roller skates?
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to be there now.
You're welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. If you go to the University of North Alabama, you get in for free. Who doesn't want a free skate night? I know I want a free skate night. Celebrate. Exactly.
Anyone?
Who wants to pay when you can do it for free? So come be there. Come meet me. We might even possibly have a booth set up where you can come talk to me. Don't know yet. I got to talk to my bosses. Hopefully they say yes. Please say yes. Mwah. Until next time, hopefully you guys come see the opera. Hopefully you come to our skate night. And we will see you all very soon. Well, I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Hey there, UNA student! Come celebrate the end of the semester with the UNA School of the Arts' SOTA Skate Night. The event is at the Florence Skate Center on April 30th and will be held from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Admission is free for all UNA students and includes a pizza slice and skate rental. For more information, search SOTA Skate Night in campus groups. See you there, skaters!